We're gonna call the
Can't cuss.
City of Vernon Workshop Thursday, August 3rd, 2023 at 5:30 to order. Candace, invocation, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather here tonight. Help the city to make the best decisions towards the budget for this new year. Just guide the council, keep our community safe, continue to help and heal the mayor. We ask all of these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For reference, we just did a quick of kind of things that we know are probably going to come up over this next year. And if y'all had anything you wanted to add to that, like we talked about a mini, Becky, you had mentioned the mini
Yeah.
excavator.
I was gonna, I don't know if y'all know it or not, but, and I've seen this and I should have known it a year or so back when they were doing a job on McFadder. Some of the lines in town run really, really deep. Like there's one at the corner, well, almost at the corner of McFadder and it's right there by Grace Assembly, whatever before is, I can't Dawkins. Right there on McFadder, when you cross over right there, I know that they did a job, I want to say it was last year or the year before with a backhoe, and it was like, I want to say that line was like 12 to 14, maybe even 16 feet deep. They had a really hard time. I remember taking pictures of it, stopping and looking at it. Well, here a couple of weeks ago, on School Mill, they had to go under the road to fix somebody's backup. Basically, what's happened is when the people came through and restudied everything, the ones that messed up Miss Gwen's and mine and Joey's and a lot of the other properties, they cut off lines that were actually supposed to go somewhere. We're finding that all over, and that was one of the issues I think that happened over here. It was another situation where something messed up and it was backing up into it. So I stopped over there. Me and my husband were coming in, and I stopped over there to take a look and see what was going on. And I saw the backhoe over there, and what they had to do. There's only on some of these jobs that they're doing, that backhoe is almost obsolete and dangerous as far as close as they can get without falling in on that big heavy machine. It only digs so far. Like I say, it's good for some things, but I think that we really need to look at trying to find them a mini excavator. It would cut down. Listen, there was all 4 guys were over there on that job. It took all 4 of them on that job. If they'd had the mini X, something smaller that digs deeper, is easier to operate. They can get closer to the holes that they're at without fear of falling in. Because first of all, they got boots and stuff that can stop them. And having some experience because my husband owns it, so I see the kind of work that it can do. I talked to Chad and Jason about it, and they were like, yeah, we really wish we did have something like that, because on jobs like this backhoe is hard to maneuver and to get close. So I had mentioned to Candace about putting it on when we started budget talks about seeing if we couldn't find either a grant or some money. If we have to finance one, if we could find one used, something, it would be beneficial, and it would cut down on. If they had one of those on that job over there, it wouldn't have took 4. The other 2 could have been doing another job instead of all 4 of them having to be right there on that job. And generally on these bigger jobs, they schedule them where Jason and Chad can be there together, which is smart. But we have 2 other employees that,
We'll be doing something
that
else.
can be doing something else. It would cut. It's going to cost, but in the long run, it would cut down on man hours because it wouldn't take them as long as it does on the backhoe for some of this stuff. And it would separate them some, because you don't have to have as many spotters and, all of that for.
That's a great idea.
So, I mean, I know that, we're tight on money, but if we can look for something.
Do you have an idea in mind? Or
I talked to my husband about it, and I talked to Jason about it, and something, we have a 27D, which is a demo machine. It's a John Deere, and it's used. They would need something a little bigger. They would you know, looking at, I don't know, maybe a 35 to 40, something that's big enough that we don't want something so big that they can't trailer. And the trailer that they've got has a certain weight. So I told Jason to be looking at, you know, things, because there's surplus auctions, there's cities that surplus stuff.
What about that state thing?
That's another thing. We may can get one donated, we may have to finance one, or find, you know, a used one or something. I'm just throwing it out there that I really think it would be beneficial for them to have another machine other than the backhoe. We've got a tractor, we've got the backhoe, but a Mini X, and moving forward with new businesses and stuff coming in and all the digs and stuff that they have to do. Not only that, but with the excavator, y'all, they can do their own trenching without having to be a big headache. Because, I mean, my husband went and did one the other day, 150 feet. It took him like maybe 30 minutes, and he trenched the whole thing. I mean, it's something that it would be beneficial to them. It would cut down on costs as far as their man hours. It would get jobs done quick, in my opinion. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I think it's really something we need to look at.
I think that's a great idea.
To get them something that will work and be safer. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all, when I saw that backhoe that close to that hole the other day, I was concerned, because that backhoe is extremely heavy, and you can only get it in certain places. With an excavator, with the rubber tracks, they can get in smaller places. They can straddle the actual hole that was across that road. They can straddle it on that without fear of falling in. You can't do that on that big backhoe. You just can't do it. You cave the whole thing in. So anyway, that's my idea on that. So if y'all want to add that to your notes when we're going through.
And the city has money. I mean, between ARPA, General Fund, and City Hall Fund, there's over $400,000 just in those accounts.
Yeah.
But speaking of ARPA, I texted Tiffany Hitchcock today and asked her what they can do on rates, because the interest on that is less than 1% right now. Well, so and she said right now she knows that they can do 1.44, but she's gonna see what else they can do. You know, there are other banks in the area. I looked at Regions; they're paying 3.44% on a money market. I know one Florida bank's paying 4.25. I'm not asking for the money to get moved, but then Tiffany knows that, so I think she's going to look at what they can do on a rate, right?
You're talking about First Veteran too.
Yes, yeah. You know, if they came up to, you know, that 4.25, I doubt that she can, but you know, that's $10,000 a year on that money. So at 1.44, you're looking at roughly $3,500. You know, so if it's not going to get spent, it needs to be invested somewhat. But on the Mini X, you know, try to find one used. You know, if you can get some cheap financing, then finance it. I think, you know, I haven't seen clients getting 0% financing anymore on those, but it's still low. You know, 1%, 2%, 3%. If you can get that low of financing, then finance it. But I mean, people are moving into Vernon. You know, I hear you might have a new development coming soon. They're asking for some city utilities. You're going to need it.
Absolutely. That's why I said I feel bad. And I felt bad because I remembered when I saw them on that job the other day that I saw them on that job on that batter. And I remember how long it took them to do it. They were on that job for several days. And it was a whole right. They didn't have to cross McFadder, but it was right on the side of McFadder, and it was deep. And when I saw that the other day, I was talking to my husband about it. Like I say, I'm familiar with him because Buddy's got one, and he, you know, I watch him operate it every day and all the different things that he can do. I think the city would benefit from it. And when I spoke to Jason and Chad about it, they were all in, like, yes, that would absolutely. I mean, they even make attachments that the bucket can turn a certain way now, you know, that there's all different kind of stuff. We could get one, and later on we could, if they need more attachments or something, you know, we could buy them in other years. Plus, they have the little push blade on them, you know, pushing dirt, and they're just a lot better than what they've got right now.
Plus, you know, they sit there and worry about, what if I jump over it?
Yeah, we're talking about how I get around that hole. Yeah. Okay, Candace, you want to go through this?
Okay, Parks and Rec, we just put that on there. I know that was in discussion earlier. to see about an increase at budget time on that. So we put that on there for y'all to discuss. We know that the roof has at least got to be repaired.
It's what's what
Even if it's not a new roof, it's got to be repaired or we're not gonna have it's leaking all over. And I know they've talked about checking the screws, but it is how 25 years old probably,
Yeah.
older.
or older. So we're looking at some expense there.
Well, I don't think, because Joey had said before, because I know it was me after her and Michael, I was thinking about it, putting 10 on my house, but Joey told me not to go back to shingle because of that, those screws after a while start pulling out.
Yeah, they can't pull out.
And so he told me to go, so we went back to shingle. But Joey told me to go back, well, he's a contractor, he told me to go back to shingle.
Well, the only thing with that is I don't know if you can because it was grant money. Do they?
Back and put it back like it was.
It's been so long, we may not have to.
Well, here's the thing, and I talked to Fred Fox today. Our FERDAP grant, we cannot move forward. Fred and I are gonna have a conference call with our attorney here in a week or so when Michelle's free, but we do not have a clear 30-year title, which is what we have to have to finalize this grant. And if we can't get one, we have to basically turn the grant back and say, we're sorry, we can't do it. However, here's the problem. If we don't go ahead and get it surveyed and done, 20 years from now, we still aren't going to be eligible for a grant because it needed to have been a warranty deed that's trackable. If we did it, and I don't know how it was done, but the regulations were not the same when the original sport, when it was built, however many, 25 or 30 years ago. They probably did a quit claim deed. They're not able to do a title search, a 30-year title. So whether we get to keep the grant or not, the city needs to go ahead, bite the bullet, progress with the survey so we can get a solid deed so that when we want to have a grant, we can. And just bite the bullet and spend the money from whatever fund you have to. I mean, from whatever.
I think they had to do that for Shady Grove. It seems to me that
They may have, and
they
it's
had
gonna
to
be
do
the
that.
same thing with the track back
I
here. We're
remember
never
they
gonna
had
be
to
able to
do
get a
that for
grant
Shady
if we
Grove
don't do
because-
that.
And and I thought that Michelle was gonna follow up with some information on that back there a while back.
It's the same, it's gonna be the same thing.
Maybe Shady
We
Grove
had
was
to
like
get-
that. They had to go and have the survey and get a deed.
We have to get the school
Not
board
right.
off of this,
Well,
this
figure it
property
out.
back here.
Yeah, but it's the same with that. We're gonna have to do the survey and get a
Yeah.
clear warranty deed to be able to ever
And I would
ever
really like
go
to see
forward.
that
But
done
you
as
need to
well.
check it out because I think Shady Grove is straight now.
It should,
I think theirs
it
is
is.
straight because I remember, I thought there was something came up about that, about the land, about deeds and stuff when they was trying, when they first got grants to fix that out there.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down, check.
Yeah.
check.
So check on it and make sure, so if it's not, we can start working on that too and get it done. But I remember them going out there surveying and stuff.
Yeah, let's go
And so I
ahead and
think-
see about getting the sportsplex, make sure Shady Grove's the way it needs to be, and get this track and all
Back
this
it
back
all
here
that
done.
stuff done.
Cause I'd like to see some grants.
To do something back here, it's just
It's
wasted.
just, there's a lot that we can do out here.
Yeah, we did just transfer that FEMA money that was left over.
Yeah,
So
we
that could be
transferred that
used.
10,000 y'all had approved us to transfer, but I wanted to have Lee and bank and everything on board, so that's done, that's in general fund. So we've got a $10,000 that we didn't plan on.
Yeah.
For whatever y'all, it's in the general fund now, for whatever y'all decide. It's not on here, but if I cannot find cheaper insurance, we're checking.
I know.
It's a $46,000 increase. If we can't find it cheap, not saying we're not, Lee reached out to somebody, I emailed them some information, Michelle sent me somebody, I'm working on that. But our worst case scenario is our insurance is going up $46,215 this year.
And when is that going to go into effect?
It's time to renew.
Now?
Well,
September.
it'll be, in the next 2 months.
Well, hopefully y'all can find some cheaper insurance.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll try to shop it
everybody's
around.
going up now.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
everybody's
Florida,
going brought
it's
up, but
because it's
come on.
Florida
Yeah.
and all the hurricanes and,
Cause I'm cringing to see mine, but mine is not due until January, the end of the year, and I'm just cringing, cause I just can't imagine
right.
what else could happen, how much more they could go up.
On sewer, we know that we've got that big, there's over $12,000 item that needs to be replaced, and if it goes out, the city's in really bad shape.
Mhm.
It'd be better to go ahead and budget that money and get it before it goes out, and then we're spending $50,000. Other than that, on sewer, we've got one grant that should be going into, we should start having release of funds in this next budget year.
Question, while we're talking about that, where are we at? Is it in the grant or somewhere else about where we're able to take on, outside sources again?
So that's the appropriations grant, which is a state funded grant for the septic receiving station.
Yes.
And that one should be released this coming budget year as well. And once it's built, then we can go ahead and do that.
Okay, because I've been asked, there's a company that's desperately wanting to use the city of Vernon.
We're losing, I would estimate $4,000 to $6,000 a month in revenue. So
Just on that.
once that comes, that is gonna change our budget, but, we can't estimate it now because we
No.
don't know when it's gonna happen. But it should be in this next budget year. Fire department, we've got some good news in the fire department. I just wrote the check, y'all just signed it for the last tanker payment.
Yay.
That's
So-
15 years
Wow.
city's been paying. So that's $4,500 a quarter we won't be paying out. That's 45, what is that, 21,000, 22,000 a year?
Yep.
That's not gonna come out of this next year's budget. However, last Tuesday night, I met the AC guy up there. The reversing valve's out, it was blowing straight hot. It was hotter in there at 6 o'clock in the evening. The garage felt like walking into air conditioning where the trucks are stored. It felt like air conditioning. Like the AC man said, "Oh my God." I mean, it was that, it was that hot in there. It's the reversing valve. It's a 1994 system. He tried to rig it a little bit to make it, work, and it didn't. So he said he don't think he's gonna be able to get the parts for it. Then it's gonna be a whole system because it's a R22 system that takes a different kind of freon that won't work with, if you replace the condenser, you also have to replace the air handler.
But can they replace it with the heat pump?
Yes, ma'am. But the good news is there's $22,000 we're not paying out
So they could use
so
that?
they can afford an air conditioner if we get the bids that come back in that it has to have one. And also, that should cover getting because you've already allotted $30,000
For the brush.
for the brush truck. And so you're gonna have another 10 to 15,000 that can go towards that brush truck. We also just did another grant application for more safety equipment. It'll be around 45,000 if we get it this year. They got one last year. So the fire department's looking, it kind of, it looks good for them to be able to get some stuff done.
So, there's been so much about this brush truck. It was never ordered, we found out that.
No.
Right.
And it still hasn't been ordered.
Right. And here's the deal with
And
brush
see, we
truck.
could have got it back then for that low price.
But now it's around
That's what I'm
47,000
saying. We
without
had then put it down there.
without the implements on it. So you're looking at 65,000.
$1,000.
But Florida Rural Water, Mr. Bob that comes up here occasionally, he came, we sat down, we had a meeting, brought a lady. We were doing the paperwork now. If we get approved, it'll be 55% of that 47,000 paid.
Well, that'll be good because then we've got the 30 that we allotted.
Because we've already allotted 30, then we got extra from not paying the tanker note.
Yeah, so we were thinking it would take about 36 in addition to the grant to cover the brush truck and outfitting.
So that's, fire department's, but I do want to say this. They are volunteers. They go do very dangerous things. But maybe the city could look at sending somebody up there for $100 a month to clean the place.
Yeah, because they don't.
I
They're not
mean,
cleaning.
they're volunteers. Nobody's gonna scrub the shower or sweep and mop, I don't think. I'm not saying it's
What you think, Stephanie?
it's
would
not
go?
disgusting, I'm just saying for $100, you could probably get Stephanie to go up there once a month for $100.
Well, and I know, like I say, years ago, fire chief would coordinate cleanup days and stuff like that, but you've got
I think they do.
volunteers now.
But these people all
are
work.
all working.
But every one of them works, I
Some
think.
of them got a job because they're all very young.
So ask Stephanie if she would give us
Another day.
a price on,
What's your group? $100 a month.
I think she will.
I know she would.
I do.
But she's only
Once a
going once
month
a
or
month
something.
up there.
Huh?
do it, you know, she'll do it once a month.
Yeah.
That'll
I
help.
just, from being in there the other day, because I hadn't been in there in about a year or two, and I thought, you know, they're volunteers. Who's going to ask them to sweep and mop the floor? They're already risking their lives to go on these calls.
And they only come up there when there's calls. They
Yeah,
don't really
they
be
meet
there. Or
twice
they
a
haven't
month, but
needed.
they're
That's the
doing
only
stuff,
time they're
yeah.
there. Yeah. I'm gonna get out there.
The FEMA money, we transferred the FEMA money over. The city hall fund, there has averaged around $40,000 in that fund this entire year. There is money to have this floor cut out and replaced.
It
I
has
know
to
we
be.
talked about it a few months ago, but it wasn't in the budget designated. So for 100%, there's money to fix this.
How much would it be if we just put the vinyl flooring down?
Well, the thing is, it's buckled, like the wood is.
Oh, the board is buckled on it,
So- in
so you
some
can't do it.
places.
No.
We might be looking at $15,000. But there's money in the city hall fund.
We need to get it fixed because
Somebody's gotta get hurt on
this
it.
is a liability with the carpet.
With that
bin.
carpet bunched up like that.
Bunch
It
of
is.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember asking before, why can't we just pull it up and see if we can fix the floors and refinish the floors? But nobody's really, I think Joey had somebody come in here, he'd get a corner or something. I don't know the details of it. I know there's supposed to be a bad spot right over there.
There is, you can feel it when you walk on it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we can.
Well,
either-
they won't know until they put it up and see what's under
Yeah,
it.
I think this is glue down.
I could pull this carpet up.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But we
you know
might
why?
have to go meet
Because
in
it's
another
been there so
We
room.
may
long.
have to start meeting in another room.
Or
for a
we-
bit.
a
We
couple
should be down
months,
there, we could be back in
You
there.
know, but,
It's worth getting fixed.
I feel like also it would help the smell in here, I
Yeah.
think. So that's something. Also in pest control, because since it's $30 a month, I went ahead and told Brock to start doing over here in the community center for bugs, that Brock Pest Control does it. Cause that would fall in that $1,000 I can do, that's $360 a year, but I wanted to put it in the budget, and I assume y'all want it sprayed so we don't have
Bugs over there.
bugs over there, cause we don't want people in the, renting the kitchen and it.
Buggy.
On the employees, we've got 2 outside workers at $13 an hour. I know every year y'all do something, I don't know what y'all wanna do. But we did decrease. We decreased administration because Carolyn is working part-time, no insurance and no FRS being paid. And that will cover
A raise for them.
a raise for them. Is that correct, Lee, in that assumption? Yes.
So does that include a raise for you two?
I'm not personally asking for a raise. I would like Carolyn to get something, but for myself, I'm not asking for anything. But I
you
would
deserve a
like
raise,
them
too.
to, well, but at some point,
She making?
13,
She makes 13.
she's making 13. In my honest opinion, and y'all know that I try to be very fair, in my honest opinion, the city would benefit from an accounting firm to do the bookkeeping portion of my job so that the audits were correct, on time, all of that. So I'm not asking for a raise, just in case y'all decide you wanna do that. I'm just saying, and I'm not not trying to put Lee on the spot, but I do feel, I don't have any municipality accounting degree experience.
I don't know of any clerk in the United
I know,
States.
well, I'm just saying, you know,
It's just not part of the clerk's job in most cities.
Well, a lot of times they have city managers.
there's,
We don't have
usually
that.
there's
You
a
know what I'm
manager,
saying?
there's a clerk,
Yeah.
there's a
We can have city
bookkeeper.
managers.
I mean, for me to hire someone that can do the bookkeeping for governments, I mean, I'm looking at hiring at least $50,000 or $60,000 a year employee. You know, what that has, it's probably more than that. You know, that has the expertise to do this. You know, so I mean, it is asking a lot on the fund accounting side. But
I'm not
Can
asking,
we pay to send you to school?
I'm not asking,
Yeah.
well, I'm saying, I'm not asking for that.
yeah,
I'm saying, I'm here because I love the town. I'm not here for the paycheck. I got another full-time job, y'all know that. I'm here because I love this town. I want it done right though. I don't wanna screw it up and
Yep.
then,
Yeah, but
but I'm not saying I'm charging that. No, I was just saying that, you know, as far as the market goes, to find someone that can do the accounting, I mean, that's what you're looking at.
but you're not doing the accounting, you're doing.
Not yet. So I mean, that's what I mean. I can. I can. I'm trying to hire someone right now, so that we can have room for some of that. I mean, right now we're running payroll, and you know, supposed to be doing the month end, but we can't do the month end unless the data's in there. So I mean, we can definitely get you caught up, and then.
they're working on that,
Right.
taking everything from Band into QuickBooks and doing all that, and
Yep.
they do the reconcile. But here's where my concern is. Since I was on the council in 20 something years, a long time ago. Well, I was pregnant with both boys. I was in labor one time at a meeting. So, I never know of the city having but maybe one grant open at a time. Okay? 8 grants open right now is what we have. We're working on 8 grants. It is time consuming to just keep up with it. Just to keep up with that. I don't want to shortchange this town for anything because I mess up something. That's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna keep coming to work and doing whatever y'all tell me to.
We know you are.
I
Well,
mean,
my thing is, if we're giving raises, you're talking about just the new employees, or are you talking about everybody?
I would like Carolyn and
How much is Chad making now?
15, and it's fixing to go to 15 for minimum wage.
And how much is Vernon making?
But Rusty and Logan are making 13.
And
But
Carol-
neither
Well,
one of them are
Logan is
using
part-time.
it.
Wait, Logan is part-time
He's
right now.
part-time,
Okay,
and
but
he
not the
doesn't
other
get insurance or retirement.
And Carolyn's part-time.
And Carolyn's
I
part-time.
know, yeah.
Rusty though is not using the insurance, so, and I don't think he's planning on using the
No,
insurance.
they have their own.
They have their
insurance.
own insurance, so there's $700 a month that's not being used, that's in the budget, right there. Same thing for Carolyn. Really, you're looking at probably $1,200 a month saved on Carolyn not being, or more, 12 to 1,500, because she's
I
not,
thought, you said Chad only makes 13?
Chad makes 15.
Oh, 15, huh?
15.
And Jason makes 18.
18.
You
But
can
now
make
y'all know Pier Park
17.
McDonald's is hiring for 17 plus benefits.
And that's what we're paying you, is right, 17.
Yeah. But that worries me. I'm not, Chad's here because he loves the town too.
I know.
But y'all digging and pooping 110 degrees for $15 an
$15
hour when you
know,
can go
well,
to
you can get
McDonald's
that
and get
anywhere.
It's
benefits.
nothing.
Art pays $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Art does now. And everybody's sitting in the cool in there, and it's $15 an hour. That's
And-
what they get.
They get cussed out there.
I know they do.
They get talked bad too. Now I'm gonna say, if somebody calls up here to try to talk bad about the guys, I am defending them okay? But I feel bad for them because they're out there, it's 110 degrees, they got poop all over them and somebody's cussing them. I mean, for $15 an hour, it'd be kind of hard for me to go, oh, yes, ma'am, I want you to cuss me today, you know?
Well, we need to look at it, we need to look at all of it. I mean, because
Well, we need to look at their salaries.
we've got at everybody's, because we've got the extra money in the part-time and them not. And Rusty's full-time, but he's not using the insurance.
I
so
mean,
we've got
but
some
still,
extra money
I don't care if
to
he's not getting insurance, he's putting it in time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What she's saying is we've got some extra money, because Carolyn's not using the insurance, Logan doesn't get insurance.
I'm currently haven't used it since I've been
Rusty,
here, so.
and she's not, so.
I'm not gonna
there's
say I
extra money.
wouldn't ever, cause Steven might not be able to see, and we might not have insurance with his company, but right now I'm not.
So, yeah, we need to look at it now.
Where we at? Animal control, we got, I mean, y'all are signing a check right now for $402.
I see it.
And that's just, it's every week, somebody,
Somebody's putting out dogs around
every
here.
week.
They're putting out dogs.
So he probably needs to go to at least 4,000. I would feel comfortable saying that.
The 4,000.
Yes, ma'am. On our millage, what I figured up, if we do a 4.7 millage rate, which is, actually last year we did 4.9, but taxes are up, you know, taxes went up. So if we're at 4.7, we're almost $25,000 more, Lee, this year.
That's what it was. Yep. Yeah, you said you were set to make what, 109, almost 109,
Yeah.
and then it was looking like 132 was
Yeah.
what we were. So almost 25.
On the paving of Yellow, so that increases our. Also, y'all know, when I started, we weren't actually getting that 10%, that utility tax, and now we are, so that has increased our revenue. But we have to go up on the water, sewer, and garbage.
I know we do. That's why I said, what are we doing about that?
Our contract just was renewed 2 days ago with the garbage people, and we're gonna be losing money here in a few days if we don't do something.
Wait, did we? Because we're supposed to be going up at least 3% on that.
Every year, we haven't
and
went
haven't
up
been
in,
doing that.
how many years, Ms. Gwen?
And I told y'all, no, don't wait. Because you
Was
know
it
what's gonna
7
happen.
years, how many years has it been, 7?
What, about
Since we
7?
went up?
Since we went up. And see, that's why I said we should have been doing the 3% every year, because then they won't pay that much attention. But when we jump
Go
around,
up 10, they're gonna see it.
they're gonna see it and they're gonna start. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, she's gonna be having a lot of phone calls.
So she gonna get a lot.
Yeah.
We
have
gonna
to
do
do that
that
by
by
ordinance, resolution.
They went to
asked
point one time, I ain't sure about you thing. They didn't put him back
I didn't
in.
quite understand.
He didn't
so
get
I
elected,
talked
elected
about it.
side, cause
So find out.
he voted for that
Set it
one.
up.
Me and Tina
Get
didn't
that
vote. I
done.
said, I'm not voting for that, cause I knew what they was gonna do. I said, I'm not voting, no. Cause I know how it is.
On Yellow Jacket Drive, the grant we have is for 110,000, basically. It's probably gonna run 140 to 150. So we're gonna have a deficit there. I've reached out to county, I've reached out to DOT, trying to find that money, but it may have to come from somewhere else to finish the job.
Question. There was $30,000.
There's not a bond, is that what y'all talking about at
Yeah.
Regions Bank?
At Regions
It's still
Bank.
there.
But we were supposed to, remember when we figured it in for the last budget because we had a shortfall, but it was never used.
No, it's still there as far
So
as
it's
I know.
still there.
Not in our,
I don't say it's a CD.
it's a CD, thank you.
It's a CD.
And when I get back, if the 3 of us can go up there, cause we can't do anything to Regions, I still can't get logged in.
We need to do
So the
that.
3 of us have to go together
That's getting good.
when I get back, because he can't reconcile the bank statements because
I gotta be able to get into
he's
it.
gotta be able to get into them.
Okay.
not that we have hardly any transactions in those accounts, but still,
we still
for
need to
auditing
know.
purposes, they need to be reconciled.
Okay.
Okay, the grants are listed on here. These are all the ones that I think we'll start actually working on in this next budget
So you're
year.
gonna need extra money, you said it for.
For Yellow Jacket.
Okay, so to
Now, we have it in ARPA, but me personally, we talked about it. These grants are, reimbursement grants. We may need $200,000 in the bank to be able to pay for something and then get reimbursed and then keep doing it until the project's over.
Yeah.
So we wanna keep all the ARPA money that we can in the bank. But we may, to finish Yellow Jacket, we may have to use some
Well,
of
and
that.
if we've got that 30 that we've not allocated to anything,
Then that'll
Might have to
almost
use
cover
that.
the difference.
Yeah, it might be smart to just use that ARPA money for that, for when you have reimbursement grants. Like just hold that, have it invested in a money market account, let it earn a little bit of interest, and then that's like the city's reserve money. It can also be, for the reimbursement grants. That way you don't have to ask for a line of credit.
And then 5 years from now, we may still have that as reserve money,
And then are these rates going to stay where they are? Probably not. But right now you're earning $10,000 a year on that if you have it invested in a 4% money market account. It's not a bad thing to have.
I agree. The more we can make, the better off the city will be.
And that's pretty much the things, and if y'all have something you want added to it to go in there,
I do. Well, I think everything on here, we need to deal with all of it, absolutely. I think we need to allocate some more money for the 4th of July celebration.
okay.
I know that is the contract been signed or anything done with that? Have you heard back from them, or did you let them know that we voted on the 29th?
Yeah, but I'll actually send them an email before I leave tonight. I'm gonna do packets for y'all's workshop Monday night before I leave,
You
cause
can
Miss,
do it when you get back. and we
well,
can-
I might forget, and Miss Carolyn's gonna be here Monday night for the workshop, so
Okay.
I told her I would do it as quickly, basic as we could.
What I was saying is that we know what we're paying for the fireworks this time. We're
Mhm.
getting a rate on it. But we didn't take into consideration the bounce house expense, or if we want to add something else. Last time it was just straight fireworks.
We didn't do
Well, we do
anything.
entertainment,
With the
we,
band and all that
Yeah.
stuff, we didn't do that. We didn't add anything.
and we could
there
bring
can
in
be
more
some-
stuff that would bring in more people.
Yeah.
And y'all don't do it to make money, it's for the city. Y'all don't do the fireworks to make money, y'all
No.
do it for the city. So if you're gonna do it,
Well, we used to have a lot more things out there.
You
Kids
did.
are doing stuff.
Well,
now
and
it's just
it rec made more on concession and all when there's more people, and that benefits the kids in the community. So, but it's the big thing that we do. It's the only thing other than the Christmas bazaar and the Easter egg hunt. But that's the big thing that Vernon does for our community is fireworks, and I want to see it at its best. And since we don't have to spend 18 grand this year,
That's why I said we could get some more
we've
entertainment
saved
for the
20%,
kids.
we can
Get some more
maybe
stuff.
allocate around that amount and have more stuff for the kids
Yeah.
to maybe pay more than one person to come out and do entertainment. So we've got something going on.
Now that-
and I've got 2 booked already, pretty much.
Yeah, because they, Cody and them said they was going.
So
to
we're
sing.
gonna have the gospel music,
group,
and then we're
yeah.
gonna have the
The hip-hop.
country music,
The
or
country-
whatever
whatever
Christian is doing that
Christian
night.
doing. And then I'm gonna do hip hop.
And, we do need to allocate something for
stand it.
Christmas and something for, I don't know if it's in there, we didn't talk about it, but the Easter,
Yeah, Christmas and the Easter,
Easter.
the Christmas bazaar and the Easter egg, we need to have money for both.
I do anticipate having a very big Christmas bazaar this
This year.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Last year I did the mistletoe out at Robin's house, and, there was 20-ish vendors out in the middle of Holmes Valley in the woods, and I sold well out there for the few hours it was, what I was selling. And they're already, Robin and I had talked about it, and she said she would promote, so everybody that came to hers, she's gonna ask them to come to the city Christmas bazaar.
And I've had people ask me,
Why come we don't have it anymore and all of
no,
that?
I've had people ask me when it is because they want to be involved in it.
Yeah, so we're looking at probably 20-ish vendors at least right now already that we know are gonna be there.
Last time they just did the whole,
No, it wasn't advertised.
it wasn't done nothing. It was,
At the square. Right?
yeah, well, that's only, well, that seems to be the only place where we can.
That's
go
where
around.
people want it. They feel
They
like
want it
that's
there,
the
that's where.
center
Because
of
they
the
did
town.
very well.
That's the hallmark.
Every
place.
year that we've had it at that square, they did that.
Well, I can tell you when it's out front out here,
Oh, no, forget it. I told you that. The only thing is, we need to, because what we did before, we only had vendors on the square itself. Right in front of the library, that's where we had the food trucks. You know, right in front of, that street was blocked off, and all the food trucks was in there on the pavement in front of the library. And all the vendors was around me.
yeah. And they can, we can put up signs for parking here and they can walk.
People will walk.
Well, they
they'll
got
walk
that
further
little thing
back
down,
where
they can take them
belong.
down there. What's that, they got that mule,
The mule, I don't know how many people can hold.
well, a whole one or two, and you can ride down there. Other people have those things too, there's other people that have, Lonnie has one, you probably got somebody, he has a big one.
We're also, this will be on the workshop. I know Lee, if you need to roll.
Well, I was gonna say, with the grants coming in, you will be subject to single audit fees. If you spend more than $750,000 in a year, then you have a single audit. I just don't be surprised if that's an additional audit fee of $5,000 to $10,000, because you're gonna have multiple grants going too. You know, it's not just one small grant, right? So you're in line to have $3.5 million worth of grants going in the next budget year. And there's 4 of them. So
They wanna make sure we spend it right.
well, it's a state and federal requirement. So
And we have 8 grants altogether, but 4 I think will be funded in this next budget year.
right.
But I know you got to go.
Yeah,
I
I
told
did.
you. But we did, Shiloh Baptist Church has talked to Miss Mary. I know this is not exactly budget, but, talked to Miss Mary. They will come
Thank you.
clean up the hallway
Thank you.
and the bathrooms, the locker rooms at the community center gym area. They will donate their time to clean them up. I mean, y'all, they look like out of a horror movie. And, no, I mean, you could videotape a scary movie in there.
Well,
And,
that's what it used
see
to
y'all.
be.
Thank you.
it's Shiloh Baptist Church, and they have a group that's wanting to put back into the community.
Yes.
And so if we designated it as a shelter area, which we already have because our COVID grant that we're getting for, I don't remember what it is, $2 million to do the community center, is to be,
I know,
A
it's supposed to be a
shelter.
shelter.
it's gonna be a shelter anyway. So they will do that for us, but we will need a dumpster, and I know y'all can't vote on that right now, but, I just wanted to, in
I'm just
case.
gonna
the
throw,
town
I'm gonna
will
throw
go to the
everything
highway.
away though, Becky. Everything that's in that hallway, unless someone claims it, I'm tossing it.
Yeah, everything in there needs to go in the garbage.
What are we talking about? The community
So,
center, and the
it's
locker
the-
rooms, and the basketball hall?
So they'll do the
old boys and
hallway,
girls.
which is the girls, boys, and hallway.
Hallway.
Because that wasn't put in the grant for whatever reason, at the end of that stage,
That's it,
forward
nothing.
to out here is gonna be the community center grant. From the back of the stage, back to the end of the gym
It's
was
nothing.
not included in
It's
it.
not
Don't
included
even
in
get me
that.
started, cause I'll get mad. And,
Well, the guy that came in and saw me, he used to go to Vernon, he used those locker rooms, and when he went in there, he went, "This is so distressing and so upsetting." He said, "It makes me mad and unhappy at the same time."
Yeah.
And they're offering to do it all.
Who was he?
So, put it,
Yeah.
put it
Oh,
on,
man.
put it on
workshop.
well, we gotta vote on it.
But y'all wanna talk about it
Yeah,
more at
yeah.
the workshop, I'll put it on there. Also, I've got
Well, they
some
don't
prices
agree
on the
to it,
signs,
that's still-
just for y'all to go over before the next meeting. I finally,
When is our next workshop? Already?
Monday,
Monday.
Okay.
unless
That's
y'all
the
wanna
first.
cancel,
Well, do we have anything?
There's nothing major, and
There's
y'all are
nothing
having
major,
this
baby,
workshop, and you're not, so if y'all wanna cancel, I'm not gonna be here, which don't matter, cause Miss Carolyn will come.
But I'm saying if it's nothing major.
Is there anything that we need to deal with?
Well, y'all can't vote, so there's, and y'all, we still don't have no numbers, so we just talked about this, so we're gonna have to have another budget workshop this month.
So just cancel the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, is that it? I would feel better.
Yeah. that
Not
might be
because
more-
Carolyn.
I know, that Carolyn, no, it's not because of her.
No,
Well-
because I'm afraid I would like, cause I was fixing to go do the packets tonight, cause I've been going not into nothing all
No.
day trying to get everything ready
No.
for this.
Just cancel it.
Okay,
Let Paul Goulding know
I'll let him know.
and to put it on the,
And the attorney.
Okay,
And
I'll
the
send both
attorney.
of them.
And,
And we put it on there
we'll
that-
get it on our thing.
make him advertise that we're not
Guess what I
ready,
did
so
this
nobody
morning?
gets on to us.
I
Okay.
called, what was yesterday morning? I called Candace at 6 o'clock in the morning. I butt dialed her. I was asleep. My brother called me and my phone is in my bed with me. And I just turned over and I hit, she's in my phone and I had just got like a text from you. And so when I turned over, I just, and then I hung up real fast. I hope she didn't see it. And then about 8 o'clock, she said, I just looked at my phone this way. You called me. I said, I was hoping you didn't see it.
Well, I leave my phone in my pocketbook when I
I
get
was
home.
like so embarrassed.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second?
Second.
Yes, discussion, all in favor?
But that